happy Mother's Day to all the incredible women who nurture, love, and sacrifice every single day. Today we celebrate your strength, your love, and the quiet power you carry in everything you do. Happy Mother's Day. We honor you, we love you, and we celebrate you.
What I can remember, my mother taught me being honest and hardworking. That's the only thing she told me. And she told me never forget to go to the church. Yes. So she told me, for you to succeed in life, be honest and be humble in everything you do, and be kind to all human beings. That's what she taught me. And I have cherished it, and it has made me run one with that. Remember to respect human beings. And whenever I told me, when you get married, be kind to your wife.
I wish all mothers happy Mother's Day. I think mothers are the pillars of every person in this world. So natakia wamama wote ama wakina mama wetu wote duniani pale walipo happy Mother's Day, na nawatakia wote kuwa na mwaka mwenye uko na fanaka na pia maisha marefu.
Licha kwamba mamangu alipumzika, ni kwamba alinifunza maadili mazuri sana. Mwanzo alinifunza kwamba nisimtegemee mwanamke wakati ambapo hayuko kwa nyumba. Naweza nikafanya vitu vyangu mimi mwenyewe, kama kupika, kama kufua, kuosha nguo, naweza nikajifanyia mimi mwenyewe. Lakini pia mke wangu akiwa pale nyumbani, bado mimi mwenyewe naweza nikamsaidia. Ni kwamba yale ni baadhi ya maadili ambayo mamangu aliweza kuyatia ndani yangu na yakakolea ndani yangu. Kwa hivyo namshukuru popote, hata kama alipumzika, naamini ya kwamba yale ambayo aliyatia ndani yangu nitazidi kuyaenzi na tutazidi kuyakumbatia miaka nenda miaka rudi, mpaka mimi pia nitakapopungia ulimwengu mkono.
This will be a session just to discuss about realities of business, poetry, and how to navigate through life.
I'm an entrepreneur. I have a background in banking. Right now, I am a meat distributor, aka a butcher.
Okay.
Because I'm married to a Nigerian man.
Okay.
Yeah.
Not yet adopted a Nigerian accent.
Imagine, no? The only way I could deal with that death was to drink more, party more, like it was havoc.
It's only the Lord who can change people, and the best thing you can do is perpetually invest in prayer. Now I'm looking at your life and I'm like, oh, this girl got a child in campus and still believed in marriage.
In the name of Jesus Christ, Mungu anatarajia ukanyange hatua mbele. Wengine wametawaliwa na uchawi, wakati wao umefika. Wewe umenitazama siku ya leo. Neema na kibali cha Bwana kikawe juu ya maisha yako.
Shukisha mzee.
Hapa hakuna stage.
Wala shukisha ama mimi kapita nduru na pesa yako msilibi.
Mimi sitaki kisirani. Shuka. Shuka.
Poleni. Wacha nipigia mtu wangu wa insurance akuje washughulikie.
Mtasign hizi forms. In a few weeks time, mtakuwa mmepata fidia yenu. Poleni sana.
Kwani kampuni ya bima ilifunga?
Unataka kusema hatutapata pesa?
Wewe na hizo unaangalia namna hiyo.
Policyholders Compensation Fund PCF ilibuniwa ili kufidia wadai wa kampuni ya bima ambayo imewekwa katika usimamizi wa kisheria au leseni yake imebatilishwa. Iwapo umejaza claim forms na insurance ikakubali kulipa lakini ikafungwa, tembelea tovuti ya www.pcf.go.ke kisha ufuate taratibu za kujaza claim na utasaidika kupata fidia. Policyholders Compensation Fund, dhamana ya bima yako.
Good evening and welcome to Easy Friday. It's the end of the work week and we are here to ease you into the weekend with a fresh, thoughtful look at the biggest stories making headlines both here at home and across the globe. I'm with my colleague, John Kago.
Absolutely.
Take it away.
Absolutely. Plenty has been happening today and we thank you most sincerely for choosing us to inform you. Tonight, we have the latest. Slain Kasipul Member of Parliament, Ongondo Were, is laid to rest. Now, the latest is that businessman Philip Aroko will be detained for further 7 days as police conclude investigations. And we have the latest from the local medical field. The Kenyatta University Referral and Research Hospital conducts a first kidney transplant, and that's a big milestone for the local medical services. Details coming up. We have business, sports a bit later. First things first, you have the highlights. Take it away.
Yes, here are the highlights. Slain Kasipul MP Ongondo Were is buried in Homa Bay as police detain his bodyguard, driver and politician Philip Aroko over the murder.
In the recent past, Kenyans have demonstrated a lot of anger on anything. Anger will not serve us. Let us demand our rights, not in an angry mode, but firmly asking that the right things be done.
Cease and desist. Anglican Church urges politicians to stop early 2027 general elections campaign. First of its kind, Kenyatta University Hospital performs its first renal transplant and the second one in the country. And draining the swamp, Public Service CS Geoffrey Ruku orders an audit of all NYS procurement and disposal activities starting July 2019. Welcome. This is Easy Friday. My name is Caren Kibbett.
My name is John Kago.
Our sign language interpreter this evening is Byron Abuli. Now, President William Ruto says the government has awarded local companies a 300 billion shillings contract in the Affordable Housing Initiative.
Well, the president said his administration is partnering with the private sector to enhance the competitiveness and success of local enterprises.
He spoke at State House when he met with the members of the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry.
President William Ruto has called on the Kenya National Chamber of Commerce and Industry to promote a culture of savings among small enterprises to enable them access affordable loans for investment. While at State House Friday, the president at the same time revealed that all contracts from the 300 billion shillings Affordable Housing Initiative have been awarded to local companies.
In any case, it is the private sector that has the greater potential of opportunities for job creation. We can support this from the public sector. The housing program we've rolled out, we have now hundreds of companies, who have those contracts.
Still in State House, Nairobi, President William Ruto flagged off disease surveillance vehicles destined for the counties. The president announced that the government has initiated measures to tackle the persistent shortage of essential medicines in health facilities across the country. The president also reassured employees of the now defunct National Health Insurance Fund, NHIF, that their jobs are secure during the transition to SHA.
This is part of our broader commitment to lowering healthcare costs and enhancing access to quality care.
In another development, while attending the International Conference on Heritage Authenticity in Africa in Nairobi, President William Ruto questioned the disparities in the classification and listing of World Heritage Sites despite Africa having over 147 World Heritage elements, which only translates to 12%, according to UNESCO's World Heritage Committee.
Kenya also stands proud as the custodian of 8 sites inscribed on the prestigious UNESCO World Heritage Site list. I am especially pleased to note that the Gedi National Monument became the latest addition following its inscription last year.
The conference seeks to clarify heritage authenticity, integrity, and conservation theory, among others. Mchuma Odim, Easy Friday.
All right, now the Anglican Church of Kenya is expressing concerns over what it has termed as a growing pattern of selfish leadership, which is leaving a majority of Kenyans languishing in hopelessness and brewing a culture of anger towards political leaders.
The church leader's Archbishop Jackson Ole Sapit has cautioned that many Kenyans are currently suffering under economic hardship and joblessness, issues he attributed to mismanagement in national leadership.
The Anglican Church of Kenya on Friday marked a significant milestone with the ordination of Reverend Canon Francis Omonde Otieno, who assumed the leadership of the church's Garissa Diocese. Speaking during the solemn ceremony held at All Saints Cathedral in Nairobi, SK leader Archbishop Jackson Ole Sapit reminded political leaders of their mandate of improving the lives of the citizens, warning of increased discontent among Kenyans towards the leadership.
In the recent past, Kenyans have demonstrated a lot of anger on anything. Anger will not serve us. Let us demand our rights, not in an angry mode, but firmly asking that the right things be done, so that we don't project our anger to the innocent, which we have done many a times.
He cautioned that selfishness among leaders risks plunging the country into a crisis.
We must be people who are not so concerned about our own and how we can get it for ourselves, which has become the character of our society, that whoever gets into position, the mission is to amass and take it away from everybody else.
Elsewhere, the Evangelical Alliance of Kenya now wants parliamentarians currently on recess to urgently reconvene to vet IEBC nominees and give way to their appointment to the election body. In its latest address, EAK warned against the politicizing of the approval process.
In view of the fact that we may not be able to postpone the next elections, and many Kenyans would not wish to postpone the next elections, would urge that let the parliament receive all the comments as usual as they vet these nominees that the president has recommended, and those who have issues around them, let that organ of the Constitution do their necessary process.
EAK has further raised queries on the ongoing public hearings regarding the proposed amendment bill seeking to anchor the National Government Constituency Development Fund, the National Government Affirmative Action Fund, and the Senate Oversight Fund in the Constitution. Joseph Wahungu for Easy Friday.
All right, then now, Cabinet Secretary for Public Service, Human Capital Development and Special Programs, Geoffrey Ruku, has unveiled a series of measures to address deep-rooted procurement irregularities within the National Youth Service.
Subsequently, the CS has directed the Public Procurement Regulatory Authority, PPRA, to launch a comprehensive regulatory compliance audit of all NYS procurement and disposal activities dating back to July 2019.
Well, the outcome of this audit, he said, will inform a broader policy overhaul of NYS procurement systems.
Speaking from his Harambee House office following a high-level consultative meeting with officials from his ministry, the Public Procurement Regulatory Authority and the National Youth Service, the CS responded to recent revelations of a 2 billion shillings embezzlement scandal at the NYS College in Gilgil. The scandal was detailed in a damning report released by the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission on May 7, 2025. CS Ruku directed PPRA to immediately undertake a comprehensive regulatory and compliance investigation into all NYS procurement and disposal proceedings from July 2019 to date.
I, pursuant to Section 35(2) of the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Act 2015 direct the Public Procurement Regulatory Authority to conduct regulatory and compliance investigations with immediate effect of all procurement and disposal proceedings by NOS between financial year 2019-2020 and the 2024-2025 in accordance with the powers under section 35, 36, 37, 38, 41, 43 and 43A of the Public Procurement and Asset Disposal Act.
He further instructed the Public Procurement Regulatory Authority to submit concrete recommendations on asset recovery in collaboration with the EACC and the Asset Recovery Agency, and urged the NYS leadership to take immediate disciplinary action against implicated staff.
I hereby direct the PPRA to prepare and submit its findings and recommendations, 1, to the Asset Recovery Agency for restitution in accordance with Article 2265 of the Constitution of Kenya 2010. The Council NOS to institute disciplinary actions in accordance with Part 3 of the National Youth Service Act 2018, the Employment Act 2007, and the Public Service Commission Act 2019 and the Fair Administrative Act 2015.
In a move aimed at informing future policy direction, the CS directed the Commandant General of NYS to submit a certified copy of the institution's procurement and asset disposal systems and procedures manual for review.
Now, Kenyatta University Teaching Referral and Research Hospital has performed its first kidney transplant, termed as a milestone in local medical services. The historical operation was successfully carried out on 2 pairs of patients, comprising of a donor and a recipient of the organ on May 7th and 8th.
Well, the patients are currently undergoing observation and post-surgery treatment in the wards. And as Timothy Kipnusu reports, the Research and Referral Hospital now becomes the 3rd public hospital to undertake kidney transplant, giving homegrown solutions to medical interventions that could only be previously conducted abroad.
After 3 years of thorough preparation and burning the midnight oil, Kenyatta University Teaching, Referral and Research Hospital has finally managed to carry out a successful kidney transplant operation. The first of its kind in the hospital, done in collaboration with doctors from Moi Teaching and Referral Hospital, makes the institution the 3rd public hospital to undertake kidney transplants after Kenyatta National Hospital and Moi Teaching and Referral Hospital.
This is a big milestone, not only for KUTRH, but also for our nation and also for Africa. It's a big hope for people who are suffering from kidney diseases that now another institution can be able to offer this service locally.
KUTRH Chief Executive Officer Dr. Zainab Gura said after the pioneer transplant, a 3rd pair has been prepared for the operation, while 4 others are lined up for the preparation.
This is a service that will be available, and we have also a transplant clinic established where we are seeing these patients and preparing them. So these are ongoing services moving forward.
Medical Services Principal Secretary Ouma Oluga said all the procedures involved, including the transplant, medical preparation and post-surgery treatment, are fully covered by the Social Health Authority.
For economic reasons, it also makes sense that we, from a policy perspective, support our hospitals, all our hospitals, to graduate to be able to offer transplant services.
The PS also divulged that going forward, the government will have at least 200 renal transplants yearly through the level 6 public hospitals.
We all have to join forces together so that the services that you get in this hospital are quality, but the same services that you get in Kenyatta National Referral Hospital, Moi Teaching Referral Hospital, Jaramogi Oginga Odinga Referral Hospital, and the support that we give to county hospitals is all the same, so that we are not crowding the referral hospitals when other hospitals could support us in service delivery.
He noted that the country will be able to save significant amounts of money, spent by Kenyans to undergo renal transplants abroad and locally every year.
Need to and must work together to bridge the gap that necessitates our citizens to seek medical help from outside the country, which would like to see as a thing of the past, and if not, at least a very reduced occurrence where people have to go to foreign countries for treatment for things that we can do here.
We spend 1,107,000 shillings every single year per patient on dialysis, because we do 2 sessions per week for 52 weeks. Each of these sessions around 9,500.
Dr. Oluga also urged Kenyans, particularly those undergoing dialysis and kidney treatment, to enlist with the SHA so that they can benefit. Timothy Kipnosu for Easy Friday.
A great milestone there for the local medical services. Moving on, now widows across the country have been urged to join women-led groups to unlock access to critical investment and empowerment opportunities. This was the clarion call during the empowerment event in Marsabit, bringing together about 3,000 women.
The President's advisor on women's rights, Harriet Chigai, officiating the event, emphasized the need for concerted efforts between government and grassroots organizations to support widows with finances.
In Marsabit County, over 3,000 women, many of them widows and single mothers, gathered for an empowerment program aimed at boosting their economic and social well-being. Leading the call for action was the President's advisor on women's rights, Harriet Chigai, who emphasized the need for unified efforts between government and grassroots organizations to support widows as they begin their journey towards economic independence.
Mara nyingi huonekana kama kwamba dunia inaendelea inaacha kina mama nyuma, si ndio? Lakini leo tunasema dunia haisongi, lazima tusonge pamoja na kina mama. Serikali inasema tunawajali wajane na tunawajali kina mama.
Now our main aim of calling them ni kuempower hawa waweze kufanya biashara, waweze kufunzwa mambo ya sheria ili waweze kujichunga na kuwatia moyo.
Chigai urged widows to actively participate in women's groups, which have proven to be effective in mobilizing resources and opening doors to investment and entrepreneurship opportunities. The program, which now runs across the country, also aims to teach widows on the importance of financial and legal challenges that are inherent in their lives.
Now, the Kenya Broadcasting Corporation fraternity on Friday bid farewell to veteran journalist Kennedy Epalat, who has proceeded on retirement. Epalat, who has worked for KBC since 1994, has been described as a diligent employee who always upheld professional standards.
Well, during the farewell ceremony, various professionals with experience were urged to use their positions to uplift others and guide them to climb the career ladder. Until his retirement, Epalat served in various capacities, having started as a presenter at the KBC Teso service in 2003. He moved to KBC headquarters in Nairobi, where he focused on current affairs. He also had a stint at Parliament, where he did live commentaries.
He's a fairly hard-working gentleman, and I'm sure that's why I believe and I know that wherever he is, he'll continue working hard. His spirit ya kufanya kazi ni mzuri.
I believe that you're also going to mentor other people in a different capacity as a senior citizen. And with increased wisdom, you're going to do even better.
You can still mentor these young journalists who are trying to open their small stations, their small businesses. Please mentor them, because this is but a beginning of life.
Na tusikue watu wa kuangusha talent na dreams za wengine. Let's be supporting other people's talent. Let's not be the killers of dreams. KBC imenilea. I cannot remember when I was asked to produce an identity card. Nikisema tu jina inatosha. Treat those who are on internship and those who are
on attachment as colleagues, because that is where it is easier to get talent for newsreaders, presenters. We have all the talents there.
Beautiful. Happy retirement, Mr. Kennedy Epalat Kago. I wasn't even born in 1994 when he started out his reporting duties.
You are not born. Interesting. I was in class 4, so
class
you can do them. You're quick. But let's take a quick break. We'll be back with more news coming up.
Je, umewahi kuwa na deni ya KRA? Basi, usiwe na shaka. KRA wakishirikiana na KBC wamekuandalia roadshow murwa kabisa. Jiunge nasi tukufahamishe kuhusu KRA Tax Amnesty Program na jinsi utakavyoweza kusamehewa adhabu na riba na KRA. Pia, tutakuwa tunakusaidia kujaza fomu za kodi za mwaka 2024 na kukusaidia na huduma za KRA kwa mtaa wako. Ijumaa tarehe 9 mwezi Mei, tutakuwa maeneo ya Kiambu Town, Githunguri, Ruaka, Banana, Wangige, Kikuyu na tumalizie Limuru Town. Kisha Jumamosi tarehe 10 mwezi Mei, tutazuru maeneo ya Ruiru, Kimbo, Kenyatta Road, Juja, Weteithie, Jomoko, Gatitu, Thika Town, Engen, Makongeni na Kisii Estate. KRA, tulipe ushuru, tujitegemee.
Usikie uchungu sana. Sana. Kitu kwa inanuma hadi sasa hivi. Mwishowe ni kuuma. Sasa ile joy iko hivi. Kila time unataka tujikuna.
Unajikuna. Tatizo wino na kuna hope kama ya komi imetolewa, pia ya wino itatolewa. Pia wino hope. Utamwambiaje?
Wino utamwambia asikufe moyo. Acha mimi niko na hizo na Mungu akanionekania. Asinde kuiombea pia, tukimwombea na hivyo Mungu atamuonekania.
Are bringing you a special moment with 3 incredible women that will regale us with stories of childhood and motherhood, life lessons, and of course, legacy.
Motherhood is like a big school where there is no syllabus. Oh, wow. You keep learning.
For me, motherhood is the reason I am.
Yeah.
Every minute of the day, the decisions I make, I have Nadia in mind.
When you're balancing life with your family, with your friends, with work, it's very important.
Even if I don't beat my children, the way my mother used to beat us, I would find a middle ground where you learn to negotiate, at the same time discipline.
Do you know what those guys are carrying? Like, what are they carrying? They're carrying children who are late, who are not coming. Aki, I used to see Mare guys, I take off, I go. She was very liberal, very firm, but there's one thing she always told us, and I've tried, and I've kept that tradition with Nadia.
Yes.
Always speak the truth.
Welcome back. For those joining us right now, this is Easy Friday. Now, the National Council for Persons with Disabilities has loaded the assent to the Persons with Disabilities Bill 2025 into law.
Well, speaking earlier today, our Acting Executive Director, Evan Joroge, has termed the new act as a game changer, noting it will ensure disability mainstreaming in various sectors of the economy and enhance access to inclusive education, health services, and assistive technologies.
President William Ruto signed the Persons with Disabilities Bill 2025 into law on Thursday.
The signing into law of the Persons with Disabilities Bill of 2025 by President William Ruto on Thursday heralded a new dawn and a significant milestone for persons with disabilities in the country.
This framework provides a robust, inclusive framework that provides all the necessary incentives, necessary safeguards to make sure people living with disabilities live their full lives as the rest of society.
According to the NCPWD, the new law will enhance inclusion, protection and empowerment of persons with disabilities across the country.
And we are very happy that the President assented the bill because it has also restructured the National Council, matters of our functions. We have new obligations that we are mandated to do as a council.
We are seeing some goodies to the caregivers or the parents whose household have got 2 or more children with severe disabilities.
The Council's acting executive director, Evan Joroge, has called for concerted efforts among all stakeholders in the society to enhance the effective implementation of the Act and protect the dignity of PWDs.
The bill also introduces some rights to persons with disabilities, matters of employment. It has now enhanced the employment years from 60 to 65 years. It has also introduced incentives for caregivers. It has also given employers obligations to ensure that at least 5% of their employees are persons with disabilities.
The Council, which has a total registered membership of more than 700,000 PWDs, has at the same time announced plans to enhance the enrollment of more differently abled persons across the country.
One is able to register on their own unaided via eCitizen and upload 3 documents: a passport photo, medical report, their ID card or birth certificate.
The signing into law of the bill, which was sponsored by nominated Senator Christola Sige, was driven by the urgent need to, among others, align national legislation with the practical challenges experienced in enforcing and implementing the Persons with Disabilities Act of 2003.
So we are going to call in all the stakeholders so that we're able to develop rules and regulations on how to implement the new act to make it impactful in the society.
Disabilities, that this law will be implemented to the full, and we will not tire to work for persons with disabilities because they are the ones who have employed us.
John Kahiro for Easy Friday.
All right, then now the Kenya Revenue Authority is targeting approximately 8.5 million returns by the end of June. With the taxman having surpassed its revenue projections last month, KRA is encouraging taxpayers to leverage the ongoing amnesty and file and pay campaign across the country to update their records.
On Friday, KRA and its media partner, the Kenya Broadcasting Corporation, staged a roadshow in Kiambu County to sensitize area residents on the ongoing amnesty campaign. Residents thronged various stops as the caravan snaked the country to get assistance from KRA staff to update their records.
Well, KRA has also erected mobile clinics in major urban centers across the country to provide assistance to taxpayers. The caravan toured Githongori, Kiambu Town, Banana, Ruaka and Wangige towns, with the campaigns expected to continue to Thika and its environs on Saturday.
Remember, as long as you have a KRA PIN, you need to file your return. It could be you took your PIN for any other reason. Maybe you are opening a bank account, or any other reason you are doing a transfer of a property. We encourage you that as long as you have a PIN, ensure that you have filed your return by 30th of June.
Now, Chinese ambassador to Kenya, Guo Haiyan, has committed that the People's Republic of China will continue to support Kenya in achieving its development goals, particularly in education.
The ambassador made that pledge during the Chinese language proficiency competition, which saw a University of Nairobi student emerge victorious and will represent Kenya in the global finals in China later this year.
At the heart of the University of Nairobi campus, East Asian culture met the Kenyan spirit in a dazzling display of talent, tradition and determination.
I performed a song called Pongyo, which means friends, and it's to bring us together. We may be Kenyans, they may be Chinese, but we are one world, one family.
For my talent, I've done something called Pingshu, which is an art of storytelling in China, and it's part of a category called Xiangshang.
This was no ordinary academic contest. It was the Chinese Bridge Language Proficiency Competition, a cultural spectacle where 19 finalists, selected from over 200 initial contestants, competed not just with words but with passion.
Ever since I was young, looking at Chinese movies and series, I actually loved the culture, the language, and how beautiful it just synchronizes. And I just told myself, whenever I get the chance to study Chinese, I will definitely study Chinese.
As much as I love singing, I've started learning Chinese songs because you see, in these hotels, in these carnivals, I can go and perform while I'm still a waiter.
From soul-stirring poetry to melodic Chinese songs, heartfelt speeches, these young linguists showcased more than mere fluency. They revealed deep connections to Chinese culture, history, and people.
My future ambition is to pursue a medical career, probably in China, maybe further studies in China also, and later I can work to bridge in the relationship between Kenya and China in terms of medical science.
Naomi Wanjiku Dhuo, an economics and statistics student at the University of Nairobi, emerged as the winner and will represent Kenya in the global finals in China later this year.
We are holding this event every year, but every year the audience number is increasing and increasing. And some of the students, I even know, they haven't started the Chinese language learning, but they came here because they want to know what is the Chinese, what is that language, what can I gain by learning Chinese language.
Ambassador Guo Haiyan commended the students as beacons of hope and promised deeper Sino-Kenya cooperation.
As a new Chinese ambassador, I'll try my best to deepen our cooperation and collaboration with University and Nairobi and other universities in Kenya.
According to Wang Shangxie, the director of Confucius Institute at the University of Nairobi, learning Chinese is not just about mastering tones and characters. It is about unlocking new worlds, building long-lasting friendships, and shaping future beyond borders.
Actually, today, we have the sponsor called Unique Brilliant Human Resources. They are doing the human resources. They sponsor our program. At the meantime, they set up a tent here to let the students to register. In the future, if there's any company have the suitable, job opportunity, they will offer to the students.
Ben Chumba, Easy Friday.
The late Kasipul Member of Parliament Charles Ongondo Were was laid to rest on Friday at his Oyuge's home in a ceremony dominated by calls for political tolerance.
Well, speaker after speaker at the event termed his assassination as political backwardness, calling for peaceful coexistence in the political space.
Were was eulogized as a steadfast and committed leader who touched many lives through his empathic leadership style.
Friday morning, hundreds of mourners gathered in Oyuge's Kasipul constituency in Homa Bay County to pay their last respects to the late legislator who was assassinated in the capital Nairobi on his way home from Parliament buildings. The family of the legislator, who was referred to as Sir Charles by his close friends and family, termed his death as unfortunate and a loss to his constituents.
Poteza shujaa wenu, bunge imepoteza na Kenya mzima imepoteza.
A man of a few words, but a man who is very correct in everything that he does.
The late Kasipul legislator was further eulogized as a steadfast servant of the people whose empathetic approach to leadership touched many lives.
This man we are burying was very quick also to ask for forgiveness. Baba, anytime Sir Charles wronged anybody, he would say, Mama, kanyo takuwa nguono.
Charles Ongondo was such a member of parliament that was very easy to work with. And he was always willing to learn. Many a time we get new members coming to the house, but they don't pay attention. They are not patient enough to learn from the seniors. But this man was a patient person.
Speakers at the funeral ceremony sustained calls for speedy investigations to unmask the killers of the late legislator amid lingering queries over what could have been the motive behind his killing.
Wale walifanya hicho kitendo, hatuta complain sana kwa Mungu, but tusaidieni tupate justice. Na tukiipata, we will be at peace even better.
Such a sad moment as we are witnessing here in Homa Bay. Here in Homa Bay, people assassinate somebody, then they assassinate his character. They do that before his loved people and his followers. What a heinous crime.
Political drumbeats also reverberated during the funeral as a section of politicians called for unity of purpose as partners in the broad-based government. Even as the masterminds and killers of the Kasipul Member of Parliament Charles Ongondowere are being pursued by the investigative authorities, political tolerance is the message that speakers here today are sending out. Reporting for Easy Friday from Kasipul constituency in Homa Bay County, I am Wycliffe Okech.
Happy Mother's Day to all the incredible women who nurture, love, and sacrifice every single day. Today we celebrate your strength, your love, and the quiet power you carry in everything you do. Happy Mother's Day. We honor you, we love you, and we celebrate you.
What I can remember, my mother taught me being honest and hardworking. That's the only thing she told. And she told me never forget to go to the church. Yes. So she told me, for you to succeed in life, be honest and be humble in everything you do, and be kind to all human beings. That's what she taught me, and I have cherished it, and it has made me run one way that remember to respect human beings wherever we are. And whenever I told me when you get married, be kind to your wife.
I wish all mothers happy Mother's Day. I think mothers are the pillars of every person in this world. So natakia wamama wote ama wakina mama wetu wote kote duniani pale walipo happy Mother's Day, na nawatakia wote kuwa na mwaka mwenye uko na fanaka na pia maisha marefu.
Licha kwamba mamangu alipumzika, ni kwamba alinifunza maadili mazuri sana. Mwanzo alinifunza kwamba nisimtegemee mwanamke wakati ambapo hayuko kwa nyumba. Naweza nikafanya vitu vyangu mimi mwenyewe, kama kupika, kama kufua, kuosha nguo, naweza nikajifanyia mimi mwenyewe. Lakini pia mke wangu akiwa pale nyumbani, bado mimi mwenyewe naweza nikamsaidia. Ni kwamba yale ni baadhi ya maadili ambayo mama yangu aliweza kuyatia ndani yangu na yakakolea ndani yangu. Kwa hivyo namshukuru popote, hata kama alipumzika, naamini ya kwamba yale ambayo aliyatia ndani yangu nitazidi kuyaenzi na tutazidi kuyakumbatia miaka nenda miaka rudi, mpaka mimi pia nitakapopungia ulimwengu mkono.
Couples, 12 journeys of love. We've laughed with them. Cried with them.
I think that moment just crushed me.
And learned from their trials.
The road.
Okay.
A side road.
Yeah.
It came and hit the bus.
Oh.
So the bus rode 3 times.
Wakati alikuwa Sierra Leone, kulitokea vita. Ukasikia watu wamekufa, watu wamesikwa mateka.
This week on Heart and Soul, we bring you the ultimate love recap. The best of 12 unforgettable stories, one heartbeat.
Bakora, and I was out of the house running for dear life.
Heart and Soul, the recap special, this Sunday at 8 p.m. only on KBC Channel 1.
The more he tries to impress me, the clearer I see who he is.
Sikuelewi. The way I know Alex and his finances, ametoa pizo pesa Jane.
History ya Pete iko aje? Pete should stop meddling into other people's affairs.
Nini mbaya?
Si makosa yangu Pete alienda huko nje akaanza kufuata stories za watu. Sasa imepotea na blemiwa. Mbona?
Calm down.
I'm calm. Yeah, I'm calm.
Who said Pete is in trouble?
Hautashika simu.
Knowing everything about what Alex has done for your dad, why wouldn't he support him?
But Alex is not my father's son, is he?
Welcome back to Easy Friday. Now, 4 suspects linked to the assassination of Kasipul MP Charles Were, among them businessman Philip Aroko, have been detained, further to allow police to complete the investigation.
Well, the court ordered Aroko to be detained for 7 days at Kileleshwa police station, while the late legislator's driver, bodyguard and the border rider who carried the assassin were detained for 20 days each.
The developments come as the late MP was buried at his rural home in Oyugis. Ruth Wamboy with the unfolding court case as police seek answers on the MP's assassination.
The burial of the late legislator coincided with the court date for 4 suspects linked to his murder. Among the 4 is a politician come businessman Philip Aroko, who is suspected to be the mastermind and financier of his assassination. Police officers presented Aroko at the JKA courtroom a few minutes to 4 p.m. after a day-long demand by his legal team to know his whereabouts since his arrest.
If they are bringing the similar facts on the same issues, the only people who are different players would be the suspects who are being brought to court.
Justice must not only be done, but must be seen to be done. That is the gist of the application before you today, Your Honor.
In a dramatic turn of events, Aroko arrived and would then proceed to inform the court that he would represent himself to the chagrin of his legal team. In a miscellaneous application, the state revealed Aroko is a central suspect as he reportedly issued threats to the slain MP.
Respondent has been connected to several meetings. In Nairobi, Homa Bay, Nakuru, which illustrates an organized and deliberate attempt, which illustrates an organized preparation leading up to the death of the deceased.
Trial Magistrate Irene Gishovi was further told that Aroko held several organized meetings in Homa Bay, Nairobi and Nakuru counties in which he is believed to have orchestrated the assassination of Were.
The investigators are still in the process of documenting these scenes and interviewing witnesses at these various stations.
Detectives further revealed they were analyzing financial transactions believed to have originated from Aroko to finance the crime.
You know, this is a system of government. There is no way I would intimidate police. I will intimidate any witness after presenting myself to the authority.
In a ruling, JKA Locus Chief Magistrate Irene Gishovi gave the investigators 7 days to complete investigations in the case after he requested for shorter detention, citing family and health concerns.
Any time of the day, Your Honor, any moment, the DCI would want me, because I'm ready to cooperate so that I get vindicated.
Earlier in the day, the late MP's bodyguard, driver and the border rider who is reported to have ferried the assassin were arraigned in the court and detained for 20 days.
The respondent presented himself to Gigiri Police Station when called upon by the National Police Service to do so, and that antecedent shows that the respondent is ready and willing to cooperate with the investigators. As such, I allow the application for custodial orders, but limited to 7 calendar days in the first instance.
The court is also expected to give a ruling following an application for the magistrate to recuse herself from the case next week on Tuesday. With the court having agreed with the prosecution counsel, the suspect will now remain in custody between 7 days and 20 days to complete investigations. Ruth Wamboy reporting from JK Law Courts.
Well, Interior Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen has reassured Kenyans of their safety following a recent surge in attacks by the Al-Shabaab militant group.
Murkomen emphasized the need for stronger collaboration between the public and security agencies to combat terrorism. More of this in the county's wrap.
Speaking during the Jukwaa Salama Forum in Embu County, Interior Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen revealed that security agencies have successfully thwarted multiple planned attacks and neutralized terrorists.
Our security agencies are in full control of our security at the border. Sometimes we get situations where we have casualties, unfortunately, but I must say that even then, our police officers have destroyed so many of these enemies.
Elsewhere, Meru County Government, in collaboration with the Kenya Red Cross, has launched a 30-day blood donation campaign aimed at restocking the blood banks. According to Meru Governor, regular blood donors will be identified and used as champions to encourage more people to take part in the noble initiative.
Let every ward, every village, and every youth group send one hero today. Make it your mission to donate blood regularly. Remember, 1 unit of blood can save up to 3 lives.
This comes as members of Lari Nyakinywa Oljolai Farm, who live in deplorable conditions at Shauriako area, are appealing to President William Ruto to consider their plight and settle them.
Sasa tunasihi president wetu, tunamsihi atatue hiyo mambo ili kila mtu aende kwa shamba lake.
Ile maligata kutoka huko tumapatie pesa au tumatafutie habari nyingine ya kukaa, kila mtu apate haki yake. Hiyo ndio maneno ile nilisikia.
Residents from Kakamega and Vihiga counties have given their views on Kenya Roads Board additional funding regulations of 2025 during a public participation forum held in Kakamega. The board is seeking to secure additional funding for road maintenance, rehabilitation and development. Meanwhile, activists championing the rights of the girl child are calling for girls to be given platforms to speak openly about the challenges they face.
We believe that if youth get a say in the society and get to participate in society, we can get and achieve a greater change.
Speak out for what is affecting them. That is the key thing. We've been talking about talking for them, but right now in our new strategy is letting them move as we guide the process.
Finally, Turkana Professionals Association, led by their chairman Jackson Nakusa, has extended its gratitude to President William Ruto for the nomination of Erastus Ethekon as the chairperson of the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission.
This nomination is not only a significant milestone for Honorable Ethekon, but also a profound honor for the Turkana community.
Nancy Okwari, Easy Friday.
Thank you, Nancy, for that detailed report. Moving on, Supreme Court Judge Justice Isaac Lenaola is warning a section of players in the legal system are being used to compromise judicial independence. Justice Lenaola made the remarks during the unveiling of the International Commission of Jurists, ICJ, Kenya's 2025 to 2030 strategic plan.
The values of integrity and fairness to build a more just and dignified society. ICJ Kenya's Council Chairperson of Protests signed and reaffirmed the organization's commitment to a strong and independent judiciary, calling for continued support to judicial officers and court user committees to ensure justice is both delivered and visible. The 5-year strategic plan is aimed at championing legal and constitutional reforms that promote inclusive governance and human rights in Kenya and beyond.
We are looking both at how do you make these justice and democracy issues, particularly now that we're going to an election year, an election period. How do you ensure that different voices, different concerns, people's fears are addressed? Are we going to have a governance system that addresses people's rights, provides them services, or we are going to have a governance system that suppresses people?
Are looking at where there may be shortfalls or violations of rights, because we champion human rights, and we realize that there's a gap when it comes to some of the uses of the internet, the digital space, and where there are violations that occur. We are championing that this should be dealt with.
If we that are trained are taught that judicial independence is the bedrock of any democracy, if we are to be used to impede, to challenge judicial independence particularly, then there's a problem with both the profession and indeed the country as a whole.
Human rights organizations have called on African leaders to take decisive action in support of democracy, justice and the rights of their citizens. The message was delivered during a regional forum held in Nairobi, where a coalition led by Amnesty International Executive Director Houghton Irungu emphasized the urgent need for systemic change across the continent.
Well, Amnesty International Country Coordinator Florence Nyaoke urged African governments to take control over the continent's future, saying Africa must no longer serve as a source of exploited labor and resources, but should evolve into a region where Africans have full control over their development and destiny. The group highlighted growing concerns, including the rising cost of living, inadequate access to reproductive health services, unsafe abortions, and persistent deficiencies in maternal health care.
It is a call for us to look at Africa as the place where we can be, the place where we can own our processes, the place where our resources can be useful for us as African people, the place where we can develop, the place where we can allow all of us to live freely, fully, and to contribute to the world in ways that will shape or shift some of the narratives.
As Amnesty International Kenya, we are very concerned that this moment be used to think reflectively about what it is that ails the Kenyan family. Many Kenyan families are struggling with the cost of living. They are struggling with inadequate reproductive health services. There are too many of our women that are threatened by unsafe abortions or even access to basic maternal health care.
All right, welcome to Easy Friday Business. The government has leased 4 state-owned sugar companies to private millers in a privatization program announced by Agriculture Cabinet Secretary Mutahi Kagwe. The operations of Nzoia Sugar Company have been placed under West Kenya Sugar Company, while Chemelil Sugar Company will be managed by Kibbett Sugar. Sony Sugar Company has been leased to Busia Sugar Industry, while Muhoroni Sugar Company will operate under West Valley Sugar Company.
The government set up a sugar task force to address systemic challenges in the sugar subsector and propose comprehensive reforms aimed at revitalizing production, improving governance and enhancing competitiveness. Part of the reforms was adoption of a leasing model for 4 state-owned sugar millers, namely Nzoia, Chemelil, Sony and Muhoroni, to attract private investment while retaining government ownership of assets. In line with the recommendations, Nzoia Sugar Company has been awarded to West Kenya Sugar. Chemilil Sugar Company has been awarded to Kibos Sugar and Allied Industries, while Sony Sugar Company and Muhoroni Sugar Company have been awarded to Busia Sugar Industry Limited and West Valley Sugar Company, respectively. Further, the government has entered into an agreement with the Kenya Union of Sugar Plantation and Allied Workers to safeguard the interests of sugar factory workers. As such, there will be a 12-month transition period during which the 4 leases shall evaluate their workforce needs and determine the criteria for retention of current employees. The Ministry of Agriculture has committed to settle all unpaid salary arrears, pension contributions and statutory deductions up to the lease handover date. Regina Manyara reporting for Easy Friday.
All right, now the use of artificial intelligence and machine learning will help to future-proof the engineering industry against drastic and disruptive technological shifts. Head of Public Service, Felix Koskei, noted that automation will help address the talent gap in engineering by augmenting human capabilities, streamlining workflows, and reducing routine tasks, allowing engineers to focus on innovation and complex problem solving. Koskei was addressing delegates during the closing of the 6th Engineering Partnership Convention here in Nairobi.
Artificial intelligence is disrupting the current and future work concepts. From designing concepts to implementing complex algorithms, the technology is disrupting many facets of the modern-day workplace. The engineering industry has not been spared either, with machine learning algorithms helping to resolve many complex concepts. The head of public service, Felix Koskei, is urging engineers to adopt new technologies to remain relevant in the fast-changing work environment.
This period of technological advancement builds on the digital revolution and is driven by advancements like artificial intelligence, robotics, and the Internet of Things.
Koskei says the engineering talent gap has far-reaching implications for industry and innovation growth. To bridge this gap, industry players say AI can help analyze design iterations to suggest the most efficient solution or monitor construction sites for potential hazards in real time, thus augmenting human capabilities.
We are looking for ways and the means of doing things better, including procurement, including designs, including communication, and everything we do so that we make things faster and we remove the human interface.
We've looked at smart cities and many other technologies, and we even discussed regulation that it can be more effective so that we have safe infrastructure, systems and processes in Kenya.
Addressing delegates during the closing of the 6th Engineering Partnership Convention in Nairobi, Koskei urged engineers to expand their fields in order to accommodate new frontiers, including MSMEs, that will see the youth take interest in sectors that initially relied on traditional labor-intensive practices.
I urge EBK to first make the graduate engineers internship program more inclusive by leveraging PPPs and public agencies. Let us aim to onboard the 5,000 interns over the next 3 years.
Engineers must be ready to play their role and provide the expertise, and on this, I have no doubt we have the capacity locally.
Engineers have been encouraged to diversify their portfolios by upskilling in order to keep up with the current technological advancements in the continent. Reporting for Easy Friday, my name is Ndota Mokami.
All right, now Safaricom has reported a full-year net profit of 69.8 billion shillings, reflecting a 7.3% increase from the previous year, even as Ethiopian operations continued to weigh heavily on overall earnings. Without the Ethiopian drag, Safaricom would have posted 94.95 billion shillings in net profit, more than double the reported figure. Shareholders will pocket 65 cents per share in final dividends.
Safaricom's expansion into Ethiopia continues to eat into its bottom line despite the telco projecting to break even from the Ethiopian operations in 2027. While the company remains bullish about the Ethiopian operations' long-term potential, its latest financial disclosures show that group earnings have been cut by more than half due to sustained operational costs and hyperinflation.
Pressure on disposable income and competition demanded active focus on delivering value-driven customer propositions. Despite GDP growth, there was notable increase in fiscal pressure for the government, and also with higher interest rates, shrinking private sector credit growth.
As we have been on 3.5 years commercial operations in Ethiopia, this business actually contributed 9% to our growth, group service revenue growth. We are truly encouraged by the commercial momentum that we see in Ethiopia, especially considering the tough macroeconomic environment with the currency reform.
Overall, Safaricom's group service revenue grew 10.8% to 371.42 billion shillings, mainly supported by growth across most revenue lines. M-Pesa revenue surged 15.1% to 161.1 billion shillings, accounting for 44.2% of total revenue from Kenyan operations.
Double-digit growth across all financial metrics, an impressive service revenue performance, double-digit growth of 10.5%, robust year-on-year double-digit growth in EBITDA as well, and crossing the 200 billion shilling mark.
Safaricom has proposed a final dividend payout of 65 cents per share to be settled in August this year. Trevor Ngendo for Easy Friday.
All right, now Malaysia is eyeing the Kenyan market to set up a major palm oil processing center at the Mombasa Industrial Park here in the capital, the country which is a major exporter of palm oil to Kenya. We'll also work with Kenyan farmers to expand the farming of palm trees. The Malaysian Minister for Plantation and Commodities, Johari Ghani, says the Southeast Asian nation will also share seeds and expertise in palm oil production here in Kenya as the two countries explore strategic collaborations in the edible oil value chain.
All this will depends on the partners that we have in Kenya. If they are ready tomorrow we can start. You know, if they want to export, they want more, we can guide them, we can work with them closely in order to get more and more production that they are currently doing here to be expanded and to be exported among the African countries. People that are interested to plant palm oil can come and visit our country. We can take them through and experience what we have done in our country. Number two, we are also willing to share kind of seed, a good clone, good seedling that we will be able also to share with farmers that are interested to do that.
All right, now the National Construction Authority has put on notice contractors who are not adhering to new building code. The authority says that it is embarking on a major inspection of building sites to check compliance with the new code that came into effect from the 1st of March 2025.
Speaking during a high-level meeting with deputy governors in Naivasha, Public Works Principal Secretary Joel Arumunyang says the code introduces transformative changes to an industry that has, for years, battled safety lapses and substandard work. Last year, the government enacted the National Building Code 2024 in a move to restore order and safety in Kenya's construction sector.
This updated code embodies our commitment to fostering innovation, ensuring safety, and enhancing sustainability in Kenya's built environment.
The code compels contractors to implement and adhere to various building standards while introducing modern safety standards to guard against building collapses. The National Construction Authority says it will work closely with county governments to enforce the code, which replaces outdated regulations that were last revised in 1968.
Well, that puts a cap on Easy Friday business. We're taking a quick breather. When we come back, the Marakwet Express has the latest in sports.
Mount Savannah, eh? Mount Savannah.
Shule yetu twaipenda ya mlima wa Lavana.
Juhudi tosha ama juhudi wazi za kuyatetea mazingira yetu.
Ina haja gani tuongeze juhudi, sera za serikali na sheria iwapo zipo tayari? Tunachohitaji sasa kufanya ni kutilia mkazo.
Wewe kama mwananchi hauzingatii hizi kwa umakini, unatarajia aje hizi mikakati yaweze kuboresha sisi wote?
Geuza sentensi hiyo katika kauli ya kutendeshwa.
Mtoto alinyweshwa maziwa yake.
Makofi mpigie. Sara na Azna ni kioo katika jamii.
Wanaleta maudhui ya upendo katika familia.
Taja nyimbo nyingine katika fasihi.
Kuna nyimbo za sifo,
nyimbo za mapenzi.
Nyimbo za mapenzi, sio?
Yeah.
Hapa ni wapi? Ni uwanja wa wafu. Kama nyie mnaeuawa na kutupwa.
Hawezi kutoka paka leo ni mchafu.
Hapana. Sasa makosa ya nani? Tabia njema ufunzwa nyumbani. Wewe hii tabia nyingine imetoka wapi?
Kwa nini usinichukue tuende kwako ili nikakupikie wewe? Lazima niseme mzee Mombasa.
Sitaki kusikia upuzi wako. Nimeshampata niliyekuwa nikimtaka. Lakini hukujua kama nitapoteza macho.
Ustati responsibility ni ya nani? Ni yako ama ni yangu?
Welcome back to Easy Friday. Let's now take a look at what's making headlines in the world of sports. The national under-17 women's handball team were crowned champions of the IHF Trophy Zone 5 Championships after beating Rwanda 36-26 in an entertaining final played at Old Kampala Sports Arena, Uganda. Kenya led 19-7 at halftime and never looked back in the second half, tightening their grip on the march to walk away with the emphatic victory. Meanwhile, the under-19 women's team is set to face Burundi in the semi-final tonight, hoping to emulate their under-17 counterparts. Now en route to the semis, Kenya saw off Rwanda 33-29. The championship, which ends this weekend, has brought together a total of 8 countries from the Zone 5 region, namely Kenya, Rwanda, Djibouti, Tanzania, Somalia, and the hosts Uganda.
And the first goal of the game. Oh, just lost the ball easily from Tanzania to the Kenya team. Looking for Moding. And Moding does what always she do best. Again.
It was a day of intense volleyball action at the Nyayo Indoor Arena as the Kenya Volleyball Federation playoffs entered the quarterfinal stage with a thrilling showdown that kept fans on the edge of their seats.
Defending champions Prisons Kenya were pushed to the edge by Kenya Forest Service before they overcame them in a dramatic 5-set thriller. They dug deep into their experience and resilience to come from behind twice and edge out the Forest men, who made a statement from the onset by clinching the first set 25-19. Prisons, however, hit back, dominating the second set 25-16. The third set was a battle of nerves, with both sides exchanging leads in the epic showdown that stretched 34-32 in favor of Kenya Forest. With their backs against the wall, Prisons rallied to win the fourth set 28-26 before sealing the match with a narrow 15-13 victory in the deciding set. GSC overpowered Kenya Airport's police unit in straight sets of 25-19, 25-20 and 25-17. In the women's matches, DCI beat Post Bank by straight sets of 25-11, 25-22 and 25-18. The quarter-final matches continue tomorrow at the same venue, with more thrilling encounters expected as teams battle for the last 4 places.
Thank you, Dan, for that report. Now, Athletics Kenya will integrate the kids' athletics in its calendar, starting with this year's Kip Keino Classic Continental Tour set for the 31st of this month in order to harness talents. This comes after Athletics Kenya was named the winning member federation of the kids Athletics Day Challenge, having contributed nearly a quarter of the participants in the relay around the world. Kenya emerged the winner out of more than 120 federations which took part in the month-long challenge, which kicked off on the 6th of April, with the climax being the celebration of the World Kids Relay Day on the 7th of this month. The challenge, which drew more than 140,500 children, including over 10,000 from Kenya, aims to inspire future athletes. The win comes with a $10,000 US prize from World Athletics, which will be used to promote kids athletics in the country. Speaking today in reaction to the World Athletics announcement, the Athletics Kenya Youth Director Barnaba Korir said they intend to mobilize funds and incorporate schools in developing talent across the country.
We were way behind. Norway, United States, in fact Uganda was way ahead of us. But what they were looking at is not only athletes running the relays. There was other activities that also were involved, and they considered more points, especially when it came to environment, athletes, kids participating, so planting of trees, and also now all the other activities that was laid down by World Athletics for these athletes to do. That's what we did. So we are not going to start a new thing. It's just a matter of utilizing whatever we have already. It's not going to be very expensive, especially when we go to schools and they have the curriculum there going on, and they have started that. So it's going to be very easy to manage it. The question is, how do we handle that? How do we refocus everything so that we can follow that channel? By working very closely with the Minister of Education, with Athletics Kenya, and then where there is, there's not enough resources, and then we ask the government to chip in.
The International Olympic Committee has waded into Kenya's sports leadership impasse, urging the National Olympic Committee of Kenya, NOC, to urgently organize a General Assembly and proceed with the long-awaited elections. Weeks after the much-anticipated NOC elections failed to take off, pressure is now mounting from the highest Olympic authority. A letter from the International Olympic Committee addressed to NOC President Dr. Paul Tergat calls for the immediate convening of a General Assembly to set a new election date. The stalled elections, which were to be held on 24th of April, were thrown into confusion after 4 federations failed to agree on the voting process, effectively paralyzing the democratic transition. IOC, however, has made it clear only federation heads are entitled to vote. If unavailable, they can nominate their Secretary Generals to do so. The IOC letter is seen as a move to restore credibility, stability, and compliance with the Olympic governance standards. The uncertainty has left Kenya's sports fraternity in limbo, with concerns that prolonged delays could dent preparations for the upcoming international competitions. All eyes are now on NOC to not just set a date, but to also ensure a transparent and conclusive election process. Nairobi City Stars enhanced their chances of surviving relegation after defeating Mara Sugar 3-2 in one of the 3 FKF Premier League matches played today. The win leaves City Stars within 2 points of Murang'a Seal, who are 16th with 29 points, while City Stars remain bottom with 27 points. League leaders Kenya Police tightened their grip on the pole position after laboring to a 1-0 win against hosts Bandari FC. Marvin Nabuire was on the mark again, scoring in his second successive game after he netted the winner in stoppage time. Following the win, Police opened a 5-point lead at the top of the weekend matches. Shabana bounced back from their 1-0 loss to Gor Mahia to defeat KCB by a solitary goal at Machakos Stadium. The league continues tomorrow with a total of 4 matches on the card. Mathare United will face Kakamega Homeboys, while Posta Rangers will play relegation-threatened Bidco United. The 2009 champions Sofapaka will host Kariobangi Sharks, while title hopefuls Tusker will play Muranga Seals. Meanwhile, the much-awaited Mashemeji derby between Gor Mahia and FC Leopards, scheduled for this Sunday, has been postponed to a later date following recent developments regarding the availability of the venue. Gor Mahia had said the match will be held at Kasarani, but the Confederation of African Football directed the venue cannot be availed due to its final preparations for the upcoming African Nations Championship. They proposed the match to be held at Ulinzi Complex, but it was declined due to internal concerns about safety.
Kwa hiyo kila mechi sisi kila mtu ashinde mechi zake. Ina maana unafikiri unaelewa the meaning ya 3 point. Sisi tunahitaji kuwin point 3 to win afu tutahesabu baadaye ya ligi.
Now finally, Manchester United and Tottenham will meet in an all-English Europa final on the 21st of May this year in Spain. United saw off Spanish side Athletic Bilbao 7-1 on aggregate after their semi-final return match, while Spurs got the better of Norway on 5-1 on aggregate. In the UEFA Conference.
All right, and that sporting update brings us to the end of the first part of Easy Friday. That's where we brief you on the news that's been shaping up today. We are shifting gears.
Yes, to your favorite segment.
Absolutely, with none other than Cool Jacks on the other side of the studio, ready to take us down memory lane. I can imagine the kind of lineup that you have for the day, Cool Jacks. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Cole Jackson, for that. Totally appreciated.
Thank you so much. Our sign language interpreter this evening has been Byron Abuli. Thank you so much for keeping us company. The conversation doesn't end here. Be sure to follow us on all our social media platforms, and we will keep you engaged. My name is Caren Kibbett. Have yourself a peaceful night.
My name is John Kago. Good night. So long.